Hi, I'm Audrey.
And I'm Chris.
And you're watching The Compass Effect.
Thank you for joining us today on our very first episode of The Compass Effect.
And we're feeling especially thankful because the compass word of the day is appreciation.
Right on. We'll check out how local nonprofits cultivate appreciation with a visit to the Grand Canyon.
That sounds like fun.
And not to mention, a very moving ceremony where friends and family cleanse each other's hands to show their gratitude and love.
And what better way to say thank you than with a fresh bouquet of flowers?
We'll swing by a little Saigon flower shop for the perfect arrangement.
But first off, let's hear what these folks appreciate the most.
I'm thankful for air because without air, then none of us will be living.
I truly appreciate helping children. I love making a difference. I like to understand their struggles and finding a way to understand their needs and just helping them out. That's my true passion.
We're Transcend Clothing, and I appreciate having my own business and watching it grow.
We are thankful for our family, our friends, and the local customers that have supported us.
P.S. You can find us online at transcendboutique.com.
I appreciate my parents and the people that help me in life, my teachers at school, and my friends.
I'm thankful for my kitty, Boston. I love him.
So, what do you appreciate most, Audrey?
Well, I appreciate my little dog because she wakes me up every night and she's my natural alarm clock. No, but really I appreciate my parents because every time I trip on a small pebble, they're always there to help me get back up and help me focus on my goals. How about you, Chris?
Well, I appreciate the simple things in life. I appreciate being youthful, healthy, and having opportunities for growth and advancement.
Awesome. Well, up next, let's tag along with nonprofit group Compass Youth on a trip to the Grand Canyon and join in the appreciation of Mother Nature.
This trip is supposed to unite all the youth together to just enjoy and have like a quick adventure. It's only 3 days, so it's pretty short. We want to appreciate nature and embrace the beauty of it, and also nature gives us the opportunity to like open up our mind and have different perspectives, especially at the Grand Canyon because it's one of the 7 natural wonders of the world, so it's a very beautiful place.
Usually when we hike, we have the tendency to look up in mountains, but here we just look down and somehow we feel so peaceful. I don't know how to explain it, but it really feels very deep and serene.
We have a very special group this year. We have people from all around the world actually. There's some from Germany, some from France, people from Orange County, and then people from Texas and out of state too.
Bus stop will be on the other side or west side of Hopi Point. Just continue on the rim trail until you reach it. And Powell Point was named for John Wesley Powell. He led 2 expeditions down the Colorado River in the 1800s.
I like the outlook here. You can see lots of the canyon and everything here.
I like it.
Behind me here is the Grand Canyon. It was formed millions of years ago with the Colorado River snaking down the bottom right there. And over millions of years it eroded the sandstones and limestones. We can tell it's not a single flood event that formed this because the curvature and the banking of the river tells us that the river carves this in a slow process over millions of years. As it's carving the canyon, the base of the plateau was being uplifted by geological forces, which further exaggerated the depth of this canyon. And so over time, it carved out this huge, probably over a mile wide canyon along this side. And that's how the Grand Canyon was formed.
I appreciate it because Mother Nature made this beauty for us to see, and we don't get to see this often, like in the city.
I really appreciate is when we went to the bus, and each point that we stopped and we went hiking, and then we stopped and then we get to see the different views for the Grand Canyon, and I really liked it.
I appreciate the Grand Canyon because it gave me a good workout.
Nature is all around us every day in our daily lives, but we often take it for granted. So this trip is supposed to bring our awareness back to, Mother Nature. And the beautiful view behind us, looking at the canyons, definitely opens up our minds and helps us appreciate nature in our daily lives again too.
We have a special guest. I'd like to introduce Margaret Sharp. She's a journalist for the San Pedro Today, and she owns a blog called Musings and Rants. Margaret, can you please tell us a little bit how you started your career in blogging and a little bit of your works?
Well, I've always enjoyed writing, and I write feature stories at San Pedro Today, which is a lot of fun. But I realized I don't really get a good outlet to complain and to tell stories about my family or things that I enjoy. So I created this website, so it's Musings and Rants. So some of them are musings, some of them are rants. So that's kind of how I started up with that. Mainly trying to complain, but musing a little. So.
Right. And how long have you been running this blog?
Not too long. It's only been about 6 months or so since I started it, and I'm realizing that it's hard to keep up with blogging every day. Right. But I'm trying. So. And
you have a Twitter and a Facebook page for followers?
I do. I have my Twitter. I have my Facebook page, and trying to keep up with those as well. But there's always more and more social media. All the time.
What I'm really interested in is current events. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure that you touch upon it. What's like the latest buzz that, for instance, the youth is following, that you find to be stimulating for the community?
Right, technology. I mean, I think that everybody was talking this past week about the newest iPhone. And there's been a lot of arguments between Samsung and the iPhone, and do you have a Droid, do you have an iPhone? So I think that that's, among our youth, technology and communicating with each other is one of the biggest things that are, that's going on right now that I see.
And the theme of our episode today is about appreciation. Right. And, being a journalist, I know because I'm a communications major, it's a very, let me put it this way, like a stressful career.
Yes.
And I want to know about the appreciations that you've received from walking down this journey.
Right. I think that the main thing is family. I think that if you don't have a supportive family, it becomes very, very difficult. And I think that with creative careers, it's very hard for people to kind of satisfy that when their parents are trying to push them to go into either medicine or something a little bit So it is hard, but it's been nice having a very supportive mother and sisters and brothers. So.
Right. So you get a lot of support and appreciation from your family.
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell us about how other people appreciate you? What do you do that elicits appreciation from the community?
Oh wow! I mean, I would hope that with some of my writing, I am helping to tell other people's story, and so I hope in that way I'm able to get some appreciation. Hopefully, right. I don't know. I'm hoping.
I've actually visited your blog, and I like the aesthetics about it. Actually, Audrey was telling me that she read a section about it. Can you tell us about what you read? And
Yeah, so you wrote something about your mom, and it was a really touching story. Can you explain more about, just how you opened up and just allow the audience to read this?
Sure. Well, the story that I told was it was a little bit about growing up. And growing up, after my parents divorced, it was really, really difficult. My mother was a single mother of 4, and she kept us in a private school because she didn't want to take us out of that. So she scraped together money and everything to keep us in school. And so a lot of my classmates had, stay-at-home mothers, and they were able to do arts and crafts at home. They all had hot glue guns and all this stuff. And I remember being little, and all I wanted was a mother with a hot glue gun. And so it was such a simple thing, because I remember being little and having construction paper, and it was always the ugly colors like brown and orange, because my sisters took all the good ones. And it was and all I wanted was glue, just Elmer's glue to put it together. And my mom wouldn't, we'd never go to get it, and what she would do is she'd get rice, sticky rice, and she'd put it into she'd smooth it down flat and use it as glue for all of my projects.
Wow, that's really creative.
Yeah, and I remember at the time, because I'm 7 or 8 years old, and I remember being so angry, and all I wanted was the glue, the Elmer's glue, And I remember, when she showed me this trick that she had with this rice, her face lit up, and it was like she was showing me some kind of a magic trick. And I remember thinking at the time that it was, looking back at it, it's one of those things where I kind of I understand it a little bit more, because she was so tired from working, 10 hours a day and not really knowing if she was going to be able to pay rent. But this was one problem that she could fix with just this little bit of rice, And it just made me really appreciate her as a single parent, just being able to do everything that she did.
Wow, that's really resourceful. I actually find it very I don't know the word, but it's ingenuity. Very creative in how she came up with that.
Right. Well, I've heard ever since I posted it, I had heard that I have a lot of Asian friends whose parents have used sticky rice for school projects and things like that. But at the time when I was little, it was pure magic to me, and it just made me appreciate the fact that whatever it was, she could take care of us.
Right. And I'm pretty sure that that episode helped you become more resourceful in your adult life. So you're more versatile, and when something happens, you're actually like, hey, you know what? There's not one way to actually do it.
Right. There's more than one way, and it's not being wasteful and really taking advantage of what you have and not worrying about what you don't have.
That's awesome. Wow. Well, thanks for joining us on the show today.
Definitely.
And good luck with your blog.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed it. So
great. Thank you so much.
Up next, I'll take us on a tour of a very moving ceremony organized annually by the nonprofit group Compassionate Service Society. We're here at the Long Beach Convention Center for the World Peace Gathering. Today, we're celebrating a very special event, and it's called the Washing Hands Ceremony. It involves an individual that you truly cherish, or even just an acquaintance, and you wash their hands in order to forget anything that was painful or anything that was just not happy, and you start on a new journey.
Water is very holy, and they believe that it's a very profound means to wash away, or symbolically wash away, what is filthy within our heart and mind.
We're here with Jimmy and Kim Yi, his mom, and I was just wondering, how was the event just now?
It was really pleasurable, I have to say. It gave me a chance to bond with my mom, and I was able to say the things that I needed to say to her that I don't really normally get to say.
And tell me about your experience with your mom.
It was a really good time with her, and I learned that you can connect with the people that you love and as well as people that you're not as comfortable with.
Yes.
So you can always bring each other together.
That's great. And how about you, Celine?
We got closer together. I don't know. And we learned more about each other.
That's really beautiful. Michelle?
It was a good experience being able to wash my mom's hands. It showed that you cared, and I got to say some stuff that I loved her and everything, and yeah, it kind of just brought the whole convention all together.
Was there something that you learned at this event that you never even knew before? Something that you might have never thought of appreciating, but now you do?
I really appreciate that my parents that have been growing me up to now, which is 13 years, and this event is really emotional for me because like I want to return the love for them by washing and connecting by washing their hand and connect.
Can you share us about your grandmother? How was that experience?
My grandmother, she's my superhero. Like, she beats Spider-Man and all the others. Like, she's been there since the time I couldn't even wipe my own butt. And I feel like without her, I wouldn't be as strong as I am today. And to inspire other people to do the same, to be a better person. Well, sort of. Well, yeah.
Well, thank you so much for opening up and just being a part of this event.
My grandma made me do it, but honestly, I had a great time, like the best time of my life, and to really connect so well with my family like this, it's priceless. You can't replace it.
Passionate about just having love and appreciation for all people, and to not, have prejudice against people who might look different or act different. That it just makes our world a more interesting place. People who, maybe look, live, or act differently.
I just go here and because we're just praying for my grandparents who just passed away.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How was that experience for you? Do you miss them?
Yeah, it's really tragic.
Yeah?
Yes.
Well, you're really strong and you're hanging in there. Is there anything you want to say to your grandparents right now, if you could?
Well, I really wish to say I hope they have a good time in heaven. If they're in heaven. I think they're like in heaven, so I really want to wish them a happy time in heaven.
Yes. Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you so much, Tristan. Thank you. The World Peace Gathering is a great opportunity for people to come together and celebrate love, appreciation, and spirituality. We'll see you next year.
Good job, Audrey.
Thank you.
You were there at the ceremony. How did you feel about it?
Well, there are very few words that can express how I feel about the whole event. But if I had to pick a word, it would be transcendence. I felt that the washing hands ceremony transcends all levels of human connection and brings us home to love.
Wow. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
Hello? Vivian, are you there?
Silly, we don't have any earpieces. Anyways, now let's see what Vivian is really up to in Little Saigon.
Today's episode is talking about appreciation, so what better way to show your gratitude than by getting some pretty flowers for the people that you love. So follow me as we enter Cô Hương flower shop called Pa Sang, and she's going to show us a little demo on how to do a cutesy little flower arrangement. Okay, come on.
Buôn bán để cho người Việt mua để phục vụ cho người Việt.
Hi everyone, so we're here inside Cô Hương flower shop. It's called Pa Sang, and she's going to show us how to do a simple arrangement. Thưa cô, hôm nay cô khỏe không cô?
Khỏe.
Dạ, cảm ơn cô. Hôm nay cảm ơn cô đã mời các anh vô rồi show các con làm một cái bó hoa rất là đơn sơ để tặng cho người thân hả cô? Dạ, bây giờ mình nên làm gì trước hả cô?
Đầu tiên là mình lót mấy cái lá lên.
Yeah. So the first thing is to put these leaf things at the base of the overall arrangement.
Xung quanh kế tiếp là cũng lá luôn.
Yeah. And then after that, we're going to put the leaves and just kind of fill up the pot as much as we can. Just around the base leaves. Mình cắm sao cho nó thấy nó đều đều hết cô, đầy đầy hết cô.
Gót cái lá cho nó đầy cái miệng bông á, cho nó chặt á. Nó đừng có lỏng cái bình.
So she said to kind of put the leaves in so that the opening of the vase is full, so that when the rest of the flowers come in, it'll be a tight fit. Hai cái cao này mình để vô cuối trong mấy cái lá hả cô?
Để bên sau của nó.
Okay. And then you put the two taller leaves in the back of the rest of the arrangement.
Này là cô cắm cái này là bình bông hồng đó.
So she says she's gonna make this into a rose arrangement of roses. Mình đo lượng cái cao ở trong chính giữa làm sao không?
Có cây cao, cây thấp.
So she says that the flowers should be arranged so there's tall ones and shorter ones. Basically, as long as it kind of balances out.
Cắm cho cái shape nó cái này là cô cắm cái kiểu mà tròn á.
So she's doing this in like a...
Có nhiều loại lắm, có loại cắm một mặt, có loại cắm tròn. Cắm
có nghĩa là mặt nào mình cũng thấy nó đều đều hết á.
Mặt nào mình cũng nhìn thấy hết.
So she said there's a lot of different ways to arrange the flowers. There can be one where you're just facing one way, but this is a round arrangement where at any angle of the vase you can see all of the flowers. Bây giờ bông vàng mình để cuối cùng hả cô?
Tùy, mình muốn để sao mình để, miễn sao mình chia nó đều thôi.
I asked her if there was a reason she put the yellow roses at the end of the arrangement, and she said it doesn't really matter. It depends on you, as long as the flowers look pretty even. They're even out.
Hai cây lily vô nữa.
Hai cây lily tại sao mình để vô vậy cô?
Để cho nó đẹp, nó sang á, nó thêm cái chậu bông mình cho nó đẹp. Với lại nhiều người ta cũng thích lily kèm theo với bông hồng á. Cho nó đẹp.
And she said now we're going to add in the lilies at the end because it's a very elegant and beautiful flower, and it kind of makes a lot of value to the vase.
Cùng con phải bỏ thêm cái BB này vô.
And then you put in the baby flowers at the very end.
Cái bình bông nó nổi lên.
To make the vase stand out and nó làm cái màu sáng hơn hả cô? And it brightens up the color of the flowers in the vase. And last we have a beautiful vase of flowers.
Today we have a very special guest. His name is Tai Han-jung. He's the founder of the Compassionate Service Society. And this summer, 2012, they hosted the World Peace Gathering. Tai, can you tell us more about the World Peace Gathering?
Yes, the World Peace Gathering is something that we have done for years already. The Buddhist group, we thought that if we want to have the peace outside, we need to have the peace inside. But how do we really actualize the peace outside? So we get people together, so people gathering, and then we not only talk, but we practice how to connect mind, heart to heart. And that's why the peace begin. So the peace begin in terms of really appreciate what others is, and really appreciate goodness from others, but not just try to impose any thought on any other people. And that's why we feel the peace can be achieved if each of us really recognize the beauty, the goodness of others, appreciate that goodness, and then we do our very best how to imitate, how to emulate, and how to really bring the peace from ourselves out and peace from people's out. So that's the whole idea of why we want to have a World Peace Gathering. But it turned out to be very large scale, mostly the Vietnamese base, and we have some Chinese and American. But it started off a little small, but then now this year, after 4 years, we have 1,500 people who gather, and they're very moving because they really bring out their heart, and they know that when they go to the World Peace Gathering, they don't go to the ceremony. They go to meet people, talk, they attend many of the sessions, and they share ideas, their thoughts, their view, so on. And so it becomes one of the things that we are so touched, because we know that people don't just come for a religious event, but they come to share their experience and truly, show their goodness and their love. That's the idea.
And as you very well know, and you've talked about this, the theme of our episode is on appreciation. Can you elaborate on how the washing hands ceremony promotes that theme and how the people who partake of that ceremony respond to it?
Okay, the washing hand ceremony. So washing hand is one of the main things that we did at the World Peace. So we bring father and mother, and we bring children come, and the washing hand ceremony actually is happening like this. For example, you ask your mom to come, and she sits on the chair. You kneel down and you wash your mom's hands, and the act of holding someone's hands, touching someone's hand, and use the water and wash and take time, and then look in the person's eyes, and then you use your best, meaning you will speak what is in your heart. For example, Mom, I love you. But to do that, at the same time, you holding your hands and the water washing away all kind of, we call the something disconnect, but the water connect us together. And as you wash somebody else's hands, you actually like you renew the relationship.
Right.
So it's really touching. And by doing that, sometimes you really appreciate what your mom did to you, or for you, and what your dad. So you wash your hands with your parents, or maybe some friends. So appreciation bring out the love within, and that is the meaning of how we want to have peace.
Absolutely. And it sounds like this act of humility brings out that really humanizing experience in a person.
Very much the human experience. Yes. So the most interesting thing of the whole hand washing ceremony, not only just we washing our parents' hands, but the parents also washing the children's hands.
Wow.
The reverse roles. So everyone have a fair share of responsibility, because your anger is not caused by yourself, but by somebody else when we interact, right?
Yes.
So now the person who caused your anger now sitting there, and you maybe washing the hands of that person, you say, oh, I'm sorry. Even you don't make any mistake. You see what's going on?
Absolutely.
So that is a real appreciation, because you recognize the beauty in others.
Wow, it sounds like a very touching ceremony.
Yeah.
Tai, is there any last thoughts that you'd like to share with our audience today?
I think the one thing I really want to share with everyone is that sometimes we have a lot of love within us, but we don't know how to express it. We don't know how to say it. So we need to have a means ceremony to do it. It's not the hand washing ceremony, but everything during the time that you live here with everyone else around you is sometimes a very simple act of kindness, but we need to express in a way that people can accept it, and it will bring out love. And love is really something that we need to have in life.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Tai Han-chung, for being a part of this interview.
I appreciate it.
And thank you for watching.
And that concludes our episode on appreciation.
Join us next time for more life lessons, fun, and adventures.